All right there, everyone. The ultra left-wing TV host Bill Maher admits it. Trump is winning and he's tired of it. That's what we'll be talking about on today's video. We'll also be looking at why he's right. Trump is, in fact, transforming America for generations to come. But first, I want to introduce you to a company that shares our values and has become a good friend to this channel, and that's Noble Gold. Now, we're, of course, all optimists here on this channel, but you always have to be prepared for significant downturns in the market. Now, a major correction has been in the cards for some time now, and during this time, Noble Gold have been getting their clients to buy precious metals as a hedge against their pension funds losing massive chunks of their investments. And that's especially important for those with IRAs and 401k rollovers who have no diversified investments, just stocks and mutual funds. Now, it's not too late, but time is running out. If you're worried about where another market crash will leave your investments, well, then you need to talk to one of the Noble Gold team right now. So give them a call at 877-646-5347 to find out how you can protect your investment and keep your fund intact. 877-646-5347 to make sure you mention my name, Dr. Steve Turley, or click the link below to get your free gold and silver investment guide. What are you waiting for? Click on the link or call that number and get your free gold and silver investment guide today. All right, so yes, it's true. Bill Maher, the TV celebrity, champion of all things progressive, but also a rather astute and very sharp political observer. He recently appeared on CNN's Cuomo Primetime Hour and spoke at length on the fact that he sees Democrats always losing the narrative to Republicans, and that's got only worse during the era of Trump. And he simply couldn't deny it anymore. And, he and Cuomo went back and forth as to why that was. And the answers that Maher gave were just, for me, these typical myopic, cynical, and ad hominem responses I find Maher most profound when he's critiquing his own side, especially when it comes to the issues of free speech and the intolerance that characterizes so much of the political and cultural left today. But then, he makes these statements like, well, Republicans' commitment to Trump is non-negotiable because the Republican Party is basically a religious cult. Well, such commentary hardly helps with creating an environment of mutuality and tolerance among his own secular liberal ilk that he complains about. But when asked point blank by Cuomo whether he thought Trump was winning, Maher just couldn't avoid the obvious. Yes, he said. Yes, it's obvious. He's winning. And I'm sick of winning. Trump is right. I'm sick of winning. Now, when I encountered this interview, I was reminded of an op-ed written by Gary Varvel of the Indianapolis Star, which was published in USA Today. And it goes back several months, but I think it amplifies what Maher is saying here. It's entitled "Faced Facts, America. Donald Trump is a success. Let's count the ways." And what it does is it gently but forthrightly scolds the news media for ignoring what is perhaps one of the most extraordinary presidential terms we've seen in recent memory. He cites the Media Research Center study that found that over 90% of the media's coverage of President Trump was negative. He cites that even Jimmy Carter, of all people, noticed that the media has been harder on Trump than any other president he could think of. Ross Douthat at the New York Times, no friend to Trump. He's admitted as well that the press has not been covering Trump's successes, such as the destruction of ISIS in the Middle East, because it didn't fit into the concocted narrative that Trump is a disaster. But this USA Today piece goes on to detail precisely what kind of success Trump's presidency really has been. And again, this was back several months, but we can add a number of accomplishments since then. But I think it's a very, very good navigation tool for us. He cites Trump's successful tax cuts. That's the first thing he cites. He passed the biggest tax cuts and reforms in American history by signing the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act into law, which included over $5 trillion in tax cuts, 60% of which went to family. Under Obama, the economy never grew past 3%. Since Trump has taken office, it's been growing on average by over 4%. He's literally more than doubled the economic growth we saw under Obama. We've seen the creation of over 5 million jobs, the lowest unemployment among manufacturing. And that's, of course, because Trump brought back the manufacturing jobs that corporatist globalist Republicans told us We're never going to come back, right? We have the lowest unemployment on record for blacks and for Hispanics and for women. We're seeing the lowest unemployment rate since 1953. In terms of energy production, the United States is now the largest crude oil producers in the entire world, bar none. More than $450 billion has come back into the American economy since Trump was elected. We've seen record S&P indices on the stock market, all the while Trump has decreased federal bureaucracy by nearly 20,000 positions. You had the whole recalibration of American trade agreements now around an America First policy, as he's renegotiated NAFTA. He's renegotiated trade with the European Union, with South Korea, with Japan. He's caused China to blink several times now on their unfair tariffs. He's pulled out the TPP and the climate change fiasco, the Paris Accord. He's successfully appointed 2 Supreme Court justices, and showed his character when he didn't abandon Kavanaugh with all the shameless lies that were being thrown at him by both Democrats and the media. Trump has now appointed more federal judges to the bench than any of his presidential predecessors. Moreover, Trump has largely satisfied his conservative Christian voting base with his executive order securing religious freedom, lifting the 8-year-long persecution of conservative values by the atheistic Obama administration. He's appointed consistently pro-life judges. He's implemented consistently pro-life policies and has issued a ban on transgenders serving in the military. More on the international scene, Trump, of course, has moved the American embassy in Israel to Jerusalem, fulfilling a promise that every president since Bill Clinton had made but had not kept. He withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal and reimposed sanctions. And he's been able to do the seemingly impossible. Trump has actually gotten a number of the freeloading NATO nations to actually fulfill their obligation to pay the required percentage for NATO's budget. And on top of all that, more than any other president in several decades, Trump has begun the process of enacting a major peace treaty with North Korea. So there's little question that these first 2 years have been nothing short of astonishing in terms of the accomplishments of President Trump, no matter how much the media tries to ignore it or even deny it. President Trump is effectively transforming the United States along the lines of his nationalist, populist, and traditionalist vision that may indeed redefine the American order for generations to come. And even libs like Bill Maher are realizing it. Sick of winning? Unlike Maher, not even close. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out some of our really cool, awesome coffee mugs and t-shirts that celebrate all things nationalist, populist, and traditionalist that you're just going to love. And please click on either our Patreon, Subscribe Star, or PayPal links below. And consider becoming a monthly or one-time sponsor of this channel and help us to continue to analyze current events in light of super awesome conservative trends so you can live in the present in light of even better things to come.